want to say a pleasant good morning to everyone this morning. Of course, it's Friday, another day. We are here. All Gospel Friday. Charlie Kirk, good morning to you. Lady Elise, good morning to you.
It's Flawless Friday, Mikey G. Welcome to our family on virtual space. Thank you for joining us this morning. I hope you're having a great week and that you'll make today flawless.
Well, all right. I guess
I don't know. Curly chose to call today flawless. I don't know what is the idea. I feel very flawed this morning. Perhaps it's flawed, fabulous, hopefully flawless Friday. Good morning and welcome to the breakfast hour. It is an honor and a privilege to be in the space with you this morning. If you're joining us for the very first time, welcome, welcome. It is a privilege to have you.
All right. Lady Curly, I know, there's so much happening in today's world. We have heard so much in the last 24 hours. The hottest topic on the list of things to think about. Well, here is a thing that happened. There is a man in Jamaica who went, who was selling eggs. Almost put an H on the eggs. And so somebody went and bought eggs from him, and the next thing you know, he is being shot.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
So that happened, right? That happened.
It's evident that we've gone mad. I think that is a conclusion that is fair for us to make. How does one's life value the change? And they're I don't know the details, but certainly heard enough to know that the perpetrator had the police force and the military on a standoff of 4 hours or thereabouts.
Yeah.
And then that eventually led to his demise. But then, when you hear some of the details around the person, and you wonder, you really wonder how we have come to a point where life has no value. And I suppose if I were to use my word of the day, flawless, none of us are without our own flaw.
Yes.
But there has to be some moral guidance that holds us and reins us in. And I suppose it comes down to the difference between one who understands and appreciates their own value and the fact that they cannot make what they shouldn't take. So if you cannot create life, you have no authority to be taking it. So it's just really sad. It's very, very sad.
I can't start to tell you my views, my thoughts on it. And I was talking to my son a week ago. We were talking about the idea of where you would like to stay, live, and do, make family and everything. But this is not something that we can say that one place is worse than the other place versus this is the place that I'm going to be versus I don't want to be here. Because I was saying to him, we have some people that are in some way or form feeling entitled, and so they behave in the same way to your property, to your things. They don't know you and you don't know them, but they believe that they should have what you have or just take it because they can. But here's another situation where we went over to the United States of America, where there's a young man by the name of Charlie Kirk, who right now, he was assassinated a day ago. And basically, some people are celebrating the death. Some people are mourning the death and really unhappy about it. But some people are really excited that it happened, And I said, I was having a conversation earlier in the background to say that many persons don't really care much about people or Don't feel yourself too important that people care so much about you. I put myself in that shoes. That if I die tomorrow morning, how many persons are going to be happy that I am dead? Whatever the reasons they're happy for, they will be. Just like that, because they want to be. And then there are people that are definitely going to be sad. And just because they want to be. And so I don't know how to understand that sometimes. It's just me. I don't know.
What came to mind, Michael, is that if one, and again, I will confess I don't know the details about Kirk, but from the premise that somebody is not given the right to speak freely, it speaks again to how crazy this world has gone and the depth that we have gotten to, where in open space you can be creating such mayhem. And then for me the question is, what would have been so detrimental that would cause somebody to believe it is better that this individual is no longer around, and to go the next step of putting themselves in the position to determine that they're going to kill somebody? And not just this, but this is something that I have always been puzzled by, that you can hate someone so much that you will not restrain yourself. So even if it is to realize that in so doing, you're pretty much causing your own demise. Because if you think about the one in Manchester, he ultimately died. If you think about the one with Kirk, even if once he's convicted, assuming that the law will take its course, that you're going to give up your life as well. So I'm like, even from a selfish point of view, wouldn't that constrain you? If nothing else?
Curly Curry, what troubles me is this though, is not the fact that the person is going to be convicted, is whether or not the right person is being convicted. That's just my concept. But of course, we want to get into the conversation. But I think we're going to go for the devotional, and then when we come back, Lady Elise, you're saying something. Alright, so I'm going to go for the devotional, and then when we come back.
Scott, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Rise and shine, your morning boost of inspiration, news, and fun, with Mikey G, Lady Elise, and Coralie Karen, the unmistakable combination, synergized to navigate.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
Good morning. This is day 11. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Psalm 30, verse 5. Sing to the Lord, written by David Roper. It's as though a sinister stranger comes knocking on your door. You must let him in, for he knocks insistently and will not go away. He is sorrow personified. You believe no one sees your tears and you feel all alone. But God sees them and he understands. All night I make my bed swim. I drench my couch with my tears, David said in Psalm 6. The Lord has heard the voice of my weeping, he continues. You number my wanderings, put my tears into your bottle. Are they not in your book? Though weeping may endure for a night, it is a transient house guest, for joy comes in the morning. We remember, as David did, that God's love and favor last for a lifetime. He has promised never to leave us nor forsake us. When God's love comes into our thoughts, our feelings of sorrow and dread flee. Our mourning is turned into dancing. Our garments of sackcloth and sorrow are stripped away, and we are girded with gladness. We can rise to greet the day with shouts of singing and ringing praise for his mercy, for his guidance and protection. We rejoice in his holy name. No matter our circumstances, let us sing to the Lord once again. Come, thou fount of every blessing, tune my heart to sing thy grace, streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. Our quote this morning reads, praise is the voice of a soul set free. End quote.
Welcome back. Good morning once again. If you're just joining us for the first time, it's a pleasure to have you. And of course, this morning, it's another Friday. It's All Family Friday as well as All Gospel Friday. And Curly Karen has named it again. Good morning, ladies, again. And Lady Curly Karen.
Conscious that we're all in some way or the other flawed, and so the encouragement is to press towards the mark of the high calling. So understand and accepting our failings and our faults, it doesn't hold us back to stay in that position. We have to strive for better, and continually to be as less flawed as we can each day, each moment. That's my justification for the word.
The justification is quite fine.
It is a place to be, Cordy Karen, when you can recognize those flaws, and yet in the midst of those flaws, to move ahead to the you can with what you do have, recognizing your weaknesses or your flaws, and do not dwell on them and let them be the point that sinks in a point of depression that you cannot step out in the day, you cannot embrace and enjoy different aspects of life. So yes, in the midst of our flaws, we are still moving forward in faith.
Yeah. And just to say, most of the adjectives used for the day would suggest perhaps perfection, but it's so far from the truth. So when it's a fabulous Friday, for example, it doesn't mean it's your present state. It means that you're ensuring that you're going to do everything in your power, in your might, to make it fabulous. So it is with flow. Try as much as possible to remove the kinks, the flaws from the circumstances that you find yourself in. You look perplexed.
It's recorded here live on YouTube this morning. Mikey G is without words. Is this really?
On the very rare occasions.
I'm thinking.
We are no poised to hear. Go right ahead, Mikey G.
I'm thinking to myself,
Yeah.
Is it even possible? Is it even possible to be flawless?
I would hasten to say yes, because in a moment, it's the effort that one may recognize. I'm doing my utmost best to be flawless. So in that moment, by virtue of my doing everything within my power to, I would say yes. So it's like, for example, perfection. It's not that you're going to be perfect, but your attempt to attain it is what one recognizes. I don't know if there is an acceptable position.
So you'd consider it in this way then. Only the persons who got caught are criminals.
Quite the opposite. It's your mindset. So whether you're caught or not, the mere fact that you have a mind along those lines is what creates it.
Why some of those persons?
Way,
why some of those persons are still judges, police officers, lawyers? Why some of them are still government ministers? Why? How come? They're not caught yet? That's what you're saying?
So again, the getting caught is the external repercussions.
So I'm saying,
internal, you still have to deal with it.
So what you said, the flawness is what we feel at the moment. We're doing good.
It's a mental capacity.
Mental state.
It's you saying, right at this moment, I'm going to make a decision in this circumstance to do what is right.
But they did something wrong. They probably did something wrong like a week ago or yesterday. But today decide to make it right today. That means because you weren't caught, because the person weren't caught yesterday, their intention today to be better makes it okay for them not to be a criminal today because they didn't get caught yesterday. But if they were caught yesterday, they would be a criminal today.
Well, I will say to you, Mikey G, that the criminal justice system says that once you're convicted, that you are given an opportunity to be restored. So there are persons who are subsequently released into society because the system would have justified their rehabilitation.
No. We're talking about two different things. All I'm saying, we're talking about the rehabilitation process. We are talking about whether or not one person or those one person become criminal versus somebody else. So I'm saying just those who got caught.
No, and I'm disagreeing with you. A criminal is your mindset. So whether you're caught or not doesn't make you less a criminal or not. The mere fact that you have remember that for you to have guilt, it has to be mens rea and actus rea, Elisa. So you have to not only have the thinking or the intent to do it, but then you further execute it. I'm saying.
But then these people are around you. But there are lots of people like that around you, and only because they didn't get caught, they are not called criminals.
Only because they. But then I'm saying to you that whether they're caught or not is not what made them a criminal. The criminal is the fact that they had the intention in the first place. So there are people who don't even execute their thoughts.
But that's what I'm saying.
They're still criminal because their mindset is criminal focused.
All right.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to say.
Of reason.
I'm going to leave it right there. It's a thought. All right, ladies.
Our viewers this morning joining us for this flawless discussion on this Friday, and there is so much we want to pack right in here this morning. And before we get all the things packed in, Mikey G.
Yes, ma'am.
Is indeed. Let me be silent. I think he has something to say.
No, I'm okay. No, I'm finished with the conversation there. Go on, I'm listening to you.
I know the news is ahead of us, and we have been asked to share this. And I just want to share this. I know before we get deep in our discussion this morning, just want to share this that's happening right here. I am trying to figure out when it's going to start. Yes, let's see if I can.
By his stripes I am healed.
Have you ever been to death's door and back?
Do you want God's healing touch on your life?
Do you need spiritual healing?
Financial healing?
Physical healing?
By His stripes, you are healed. Come and join our speaker, Elder Racine Smith, to hear powerful testimonies of God's deliverance.
Somebody is gonna rise out of your circumstances. The newness of life is a church with me.
When?
September 28 to October 11, 2025.
At what time?
Weeknights at 7 p.m. except Thursdays, and Saturday mornings at 9:15.
Where will this be?
King's Adventist Church behind Cayman Academy.
There's a seat for all your friends and family.
A life-changing experience awaits you.
All right, a life-changing experience do await us for that one.
Isn't that absolutely amazing? And as you mentioned, life-changing experience. It's so personal when you contemplate Racine's, I would say, resurrection. Powerful. And it's, sometimes an experience is so much more when you're in it.
Yes.
It's a different thing to be told about it, but when you're in it, it is so much more.
That's
because you get to be there for the moments.
That's why when I speak, when I speak, I don't speak because I can talk. I speak because when I say it, I know exactly what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
It's like saying, when I'm talking to some younger guys, or and this young people, old people kind of conversation going on. And you will have persons who do not want to hear what you're saying because you're older than them. And this is a thing that have been set up in the society. But the experience that you have, you will say to them, all right, don't listen to what I'm saying now. But maybe a year or 2 or 6 months down the road, if you're still alive, we'll talk about it.
Wow.
If you're still alive, we will talk about it. But if you're not fortunate to be alive, unfortunate to be alive,
Yeah.
then we won't be able to get the conversation in. But if you had listened now, then you wouldn't be 6 months down the road doing this. Because I'm telling you that that's going to be the result of this.
Yeah.
You know, because we know, we see it, we have seen it. And the election happened in Jamaica. The people voted for one party or the other. And you would tell somebody about an election in 1989 or 1979 or 1974, and you'll be able to tell somebody about the election then and the election now, night and day. One set of persons could have voted in a different way, and that time so it is important that sometimes you don't know, but listen up. Have an ear to listen. Listen. On this note, Racine Smith had gone through a lot, and he came through with, it shows that the healing power of God still exists. And for many persons who don't know and believe that this is true, the whole thing about this, and we're talking about Charlie Kirk now. Charlie Kirk is one of those persons that they call him a liberal, and liberal, or I don't know, is it so? Political activists and all the rest of stuff. But then I want to share with us a few of the things that he was doing in his life, and I picked a few videos, but I don't think we have enough time to share everything. But I'll clip a little bit for you and see where we go here. I'm going to just share this one with you first, and he's going to talk a little bit on the rights of abortion. He speaks on various issues such as abortion rights, whether or not the color of your skin matters to be in a position that you may have, whether or not you know. And so while we know that color of skin and race is an issue in many places and many persons, the arguments that were presented are not bad arguments, but in a place where race and color of skin is what matters, it kind of blurs the line a little bit sometimes for many persons. You understand? But let me share a few clips with you. And of course, I wanted to also share that they are saying that they are identified, not necessarily caught the guy who did it, but are narrowing down to actually an image, not just a little blur, but somebody that they actually have spot on camera. And we have it here as well, that we could show a little bit of that. So if we have the time, let me see if I can get into it.
Not all right if you don't understand how the female reproductive system works.
Let's pop quiz. When does heartbeats begin for babies in utero?
Have you ever eaten an egg before? That's yes or no. Have you ever eaten an egg before?
Scrambled, yeah.
Okay, so would that be you scrambled a full chicken?
Well, hold on. You understand it takes an egg to be fertilized?
Right.
Yeah.
Your point, the whole point you're making,
hold on. So
baby...
since we're doing pop quiz on like human development, so when exactly do heart waves begin in utero?
You know that, but you don't know the force.
Hold on, no, so tell me when heartbeat.
I don't know.
Okay, you don't know.
No.
So wait, hold on. So you're trying to say I know more about the woman reproductive system than you do?
I am a woman, so yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, but the point being is we could both go back and forth of like independent trivial facts when it comes to the woman's reproductive system, but here's something we all know, because God wrote this on the human heart of every individual, as it says in the book of Romans. We know deep down it's wrong to murder a baby.
You're not murdering a baby. It's not a baby.
Okay, well let's play this out. What is it then?
It is an embryo, which is not a baby.
Well, okay, so it's a fertilized embryo.
Correct, which is not a baby.
So at what point does it become a baby?
When it is born.
Oh.
I don't agree with abortions up to full-term abortions.
Well, hold on, but you said it becomes a baby when it's born,
yes.
Then why would you have abortion limits before it's born? I thought it's just an embryo. So embryo rights?
No, the embryo rights aren't a
thing. But then where would you draw a line for abortion then, and why, and under what moral standard?
There are medical reasons not to have an abortion.
No, that's not the question. That's not the question.
You just asked me why would I not have an abortion full-term for medical reasons.
Okay, so at 29 weeks, the baby is nearly fully developed, can recognize the mother's voice, has a heartbeat, has brain waves. Is it okay to abort that baby?
I don't, like, it's not okay, but you're going to say it's okay to have an abortion then. Like, I don't understand what you're trying to say. It's not okay to have an abortion ever? How about, like, 3 weeks in?
Correct. No abortion. Correct.
Why?
Well, because your life started at conception.
It did not, though. It did not.
Well, hold on. So let's play this out. So who are you as an individual? From your skin color to your eye color to your likes, your dislikes, from your temperament to your everything.
I am not an embryo. I'm a person.
Hold on a second. But it started with something called deoxyribonucleic acid. And your own individual DNA started at the point of egg and sperm meeting. That's where your journey started. And so from that point in particular, life begins. Not at birth, not at first words, not at first steps, but when your DNA, which is who you actually are. You are your DNA. Every one of your DNA cells is coded XX or XY. It's coded with all of your unique characteristics and attributes that we believe God individually curated for the rest of your life. That doesn't happen at 8 weeks or 10 weeks. It happens at conception.
What happens if you need a medical abortion? If the mother will die if she does not get an abortion?
So
what's your stance on
the
that?
The only place where medical abortion is necessary is before 20 weeks, which is incredibly rare.
What if she will die? What if the mother will die?
Hold on a second. So let's take, for example, this is a very important question. Let's say it's 27 weeks, okay? And the mother will die. Why shouldn't, you could agree, why don't we just have the baby delivered by cesarean section? You know what a cesarean section is, right?
Yes.
What is a cesarean section?
A C-section?
Yeah, why wouldn't we just put the baby out by C-section instead of terminating it?
Because if the mother will die, it's not safe to do that.
You remove the baby.
I understand.
Threat removed.
I know what a C-section is.
But it's actually safer than an abortion. So every time they say this is for you guys, they say...
All right. All right, we got that. We got a little bit of that in there. All right, that's Charlie Kirk for you. A little bit of him. One of many of the many arguments that you would have presented, talked about on various issues. And so this is where we are today in our society. All right, let me give you another clip quickly if I can share this one with you fast. Let me see how well I can do this quickly. All right, let's see if I can do this one.
All right. Remember, I'm sorry, I'm not sure what university you did say this specifically at, but you did state that you believe that the Holocaust was not as bad as abortion. So in other words, you believe that abortion is worse than the Holocaust.
So they're both distinct evils.
Of course.
With some similarities. Mm-hmm. The Holocaust in some ways was far more evil. Okay. But as far as magnitude, the abortion crime is more evil. And I can explain more if you want.
I'm gonna go to something else. I'm gonna go to something else that may just change a bit, some piece of some of the things that we may see. All right, let's go to this one. All right, let's go to this one.
Should we get our terms right first?
Yeah.
Okay, abortion is the forcible ending of the viability of a being in utero, otherwise known as a fetus. Do we agree that's what abortion is?
Okay, yeah.
Stuff later, but I want to really stay focused on abortion.
Right.
You can say you see my point. Can you see the world?
All right, let me see if I can find something.
Scam. Hello.
Hello.
What's your name?
I'm Maddox. How are you doing?
Good.
So, college is a scam.
Well, let's define our terms. College being traditional four-year college.
Of course.
University, not community college or technical college.
Of course.
A scam, if we can agree on a definition, is where a majority of people who will go through the institution or business, they're not getting their money's worth, their time's worth, and they're being deceived when they sign up. So do we agree on those terms?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Well, what would further definitions, what do you think is the purpose of going to college?
The purpose of college should be a traditional liberal arts education, pursuit of what is good, true, and beautiful.
Okay.
That's not what it is. It should be the betterment of yourself and your soul, nurturing your character and becoming a better citizen, understanding the deeper things in life. At the very least, though, it should be preparing one for the job market. Do you think college does those things?
I think it does, but I would add on to your point that I think not only is it for the betterment of yourself, but it's for the betterment of society. We need historians. We need certain majors that may not make as much money. I think those are for the betterment of society. Would you agree that there's some majors that may not make money, but are still essential to
It
society.
depends. Do you think that getting a degree in gender studies is good for society?
I would agree, yeah. Why would studying gender not be good for society?
Well, learning that men can give birth is not exactly a good use of time, is it?
Is that what they're teaching in college right now?
Colleges, yeah. According to the Center for Disease Control, they no longer say women can give birth, they say birthing persons.
Okay.
Do you think men can give birth?
Do I think men can give birth? I think that...
yes or no question?
I think that a person who is assigned male at birth, I don't think they
assigned male at birth? So people are not male at birth?
I think that a person...
See, your evidence that college is a scam, my friend.
College is a scam?
You're lacking in a lot of
wisdom. Well, here, we can continue right now. So, gender studies, do you think that studying gender is not essential? Should we not deepen our understanding
of gender? Well, first of all, I don't think gender... We're going to get there later. I don't think gender exists. I think that there are two sexes, infinite personalities, and no genders. However, let's get back to the core contention.
Well, here, can I ask my question again real quick?
Well, I want to get back to my core contention. A scam. So the majority of kids that go to college, if they end up getting a job at all, they end up getting a job that does not require a college degree.
Do you think that certain jobs that may not associate with a direct major can incorporate skills that you learn from a major? I think I'm an econ major, and depending on what job I do in the future, I can still use the skills learned from that.
So tell me about Milton Friedman.
Tell me about Milton Friedman. He is an economist from...
How about Thomas Sowell?
Thomas Sowell.
Ludwig von Mises.
Well, I will say that I'm a first year.
How about
I'd love to see you answer the gender studies question.
We will get there later.
All right. We got wow.
I could, Karen, we could go on this morning. I am listening, and it's so people get a lot of popularity after they have passed. You hear more about them after they have passed, and I will applaud. I applaud Charlie Kirk for standing up for what he believes in and being so immersed in what he believes in, and standing and saying this is what I believe and having the discussion. I think there is a place for us to be able to speak and not have your life being at risk for speaking your truth and what you believe in. And it is a sad day. We have studied in history, we have heard of assassinations, and we have heard about so many negative things that have happened in the past. And now in 2025, a 31-year-old, is there no way that we can have a discussion without a person's life being at risk?
Well, here is something that came up on the internet. So we are not saying that this is in factual facts, but this is what is circulating, and we're going to show a little bit of this just for the purpose of this conversation. The news media is bringing it, so we're just going to show a little bit of it based on what we saw. So I just want to highlight it a little bit for us for now.
This is Charlie Kirk.
The FBI releasing new images and also video of a person of interest. NBC's Jay Gray is in Utah with more from the investigation.
New information, new images of a man now being called a suspect by law enforcement in the assassination of conservative activist and influencer Charlie Kirk, including this video of that man moving quickly to the corner of a rooftop on campus and lowering himself to the ground. Other images showing the suspect escaping to a nearby wooded area, the same area where the high-powered rifle believed to be the murder weapon was found. FBI Director Kash Patel touring the crime scene and appearing during a press briefing, but without making any comment. Utah's governor, though, promising...
All right, so we got that in there, ladies, and yes. We are seeing that they are picking up footage of the person who they claim that would be the shooter or the person who commit the murder of Charlie Kirk. So that's happening right now.
I would be absolutely interested to know his motive.
Well, let me shoot one more shot for you. Let me give you one more shot. Let me give you one more shot at it. All right.
So why do you care so much about other individuals living their lives? What is affecting you? Do you have something up your ass or something?
Well, I could throw that right back at you. Why do you care so much about what I have to say?
Because you're affecting other people's rights. You're taking away people's choices. You are hurting people. Read the Constitution.
What rights am I taking away exactly?
You're trying to take away gender-affirming care for individuals. You are affecting abortion rights. You are hurting people.
Got it. So what is a woman?
What is a woman? It's what people identify as, is a gender. Sex is different. Sex is different from gender.
So, can anyone be a woman?
Yes.
At what point do you know you're looking at a woman?
Doesn't matter when you are looking at a woman. You don't have to look at a woman and immediately tell. Can you tell looking at a baby what gender they are without looking at their privates? Tell me that.
Sometimes.
Sometimes? What about that baby is different?
But hold on. By the time they're 6 months old, you can actually tell a young boy tends to gravitate more towards balls and remotes.
That's because it's gender affirming. That is convincing individuals at a young age. You are socializing, putting them in situations where they want certain different things. Let's look at... So, let's say you were a little kid and your parents taught you to like pink. Let's actually look back in time. Pink actually used to be a male color instead of blue. In what world? Actually, in the 1920s.
So you say that I'm here to take people's rights away.
Yes!
That is your main contention.
Yes! Because you are affecting the LGBT. You are affecting women's rights. If I was pregnant... Oh, wait. Let's go back to this. Abortion is anything. If I had a cyst on my uterus, that would be considered an abortion. No, it's not! Yes, it is!
No, it's not.
Yes, it is! Look at... Okay.
All right. We don't have all the morning to run all of this credit current. We don't have enough time. We don't have enough time for this morning. I tell you, it is something to think about.
But again, you know, I'm curious in this instance to find out what caused this individual to move from just having a thought to actually feeling compelled to execute it, because and why no? You know, we can be speculating, but I would love really to know what motivated him to do what he did. So I will
well we are speculating as well. And even with the smoke screen that you see going on, even with the fact that persons are upset with him on either side of the fence of abortion rights, LGBTQ rights, religious rights, because there are people who are against him for the position on he's also a Sabbath keeper. He also believes in the 7th-day Sabbath. So he's on many issues. So I
understand that, you know, Michael G. I think my question is, there's so many people who have strong views one way or the other,
right,
against him. What motivated this individual to take such a strong action?
Well, we know from experience and past time. All right, Malcolm X was assassinated by some black people. Remember that story?
Yeah.
But that didn't mean that the black people pulled the strings.
Agreed. Totally agreed.
So we look at it. Oswald, I think, is it Oswald who killed Martin Luther King?
Right. So again,
and that's what is being said.
But there's so many people who could have been in the same situation. You know, again, it boils down to the individual. What motivated me, or as opposed to you, to do it? Because as you said, there are many people who would have strong opposition to what he's saying, and there are other persons who share the same views and are just as passionate about him. So it's so many questions for me. Why him? Why no? Why this person? You know,
people are going to say that it's because of the LGBTQ people and the possible setup, and I'm not going to go down that road with anybody.
Yeah, but
I'm saying this. I'm not going to go down that road with anybody, because what I can look at here is a bigger picture. this could mean because he's affected so many persons, especially that community. Especially that community. He has beaten them up real badly. Because you know that I link abortionism, abortion rights, feminism, and LGBTQism within the same rank, right? They're not separate from me. All of them is the same. Is it under the same umbrella? They're operating in the same place, right? And so this is how I look at it. So if you're an LGBTQ person, you're a feminist movement person, or you're an abortion rights person, you're all the same, on the same umbrella. You have the same agenda. That's a discussion we can have later on. We can talk about it, and maybe somebody could take me up on it and we could have the conversation, right? But when you look at these issues and how he has dealt with all of these things over time and on many college campuses over the United States of America and maybe other places as well, and because of the well-publicized viewership that he has, many persons across the globe have seen his work, and so many have agreed and many have disagreed on some of the issues. I have disagreed on some of the points that he has made for some arguments that he has made before also. So I'm not going to be saying that everything that he has said is all right in my side, in my conversation, and I'm going to accept everything that he says. But I'm saying that these are some of the things. And because of this, you could look at a number of persons, and on top of that, you could look at none of these people who he has affected wants him dead and would have actually gone after him, but somebody who uses it as a means of causing or creating anarchy through this means. Use him as a medium to do it, which have nothing to do with none of the conversation that he's having, but just because of what he represents. You see, so when we look at these things, we can't look at it in a one-track mindedness to say it's because him beating up on the homosexuals, that's why they kill him. No, or because he beating up on people who have abortion rights, or he's Trumpist, or he's on the side of Trump, and I'm not going to go with that conversation. I'm going to say that it's an open scale that just about anyone could use this opportunity to do this to him. But on the other side of it, there are many persons who are rejoicing that he's dead as well. So it's a lot of different things.
It goes back to my point, Mikey. I am curious to find out what is it that caused him to go beyond, for all those reasons that you mentioned. I'm just curious to find out. And the truth is, ultimately it is not sufficient, regardless of his motive.
Yes.
It is never justified on any level to take somebody's life. It is never justified. So my curiosity is just to find out what in his mind motivated his actions, and so it's also to use the opportunity to, because his family, his wife, I read her, she's Erica, and they have 2 children, just to extend condolences to his family. Yes. And to remind us that we do not have the right to tomorrow. And so every opportunity that we can get, and seize those opportunities to share with our loved ones, because anything can happen at any time. We're talking about Family Friday. Be true to your family. Make sure that in everything that you do, that you remind them how much they're loved, that you provide that sense of security, that sense of care and compassion to your families, because anything can happen at any time.
Right now, little Curly Curran, it is very interesting that you said that. He's what, 30? What is he? 31 years of age? And
a baby.
He's a young man. He's not even started. His life hasn't started yet.
Yeah.
But for 31 years of age and has accomplished so much.
It's an indictment to those of us who have been around and have not even started.
Not even scratched the surface.
Yeah.
And so you see this. Mind you, his agenda, what he promotes, is being lauded by persons who want him to continue, and so they actually fund his mission because it's on their agenda. So there are people who will do this, and so he gets financial support because he's along certain lines, and rightly so. Persons will fund you or defund you depending on how they feel about you.
Yeah, the power of the mighty dollar, right?
The power of the mighty dollar. So if somebody says, I don't like Flashpoint, we're not going to give Flashpoint no money at all. So Flashpoint die on the vine. We never get Flashpoint to go any further, because as long as you don't give any money to Flashpoint, Flashpoint won't survive. But then there are persons who says Flashpoint is a great media house and we want Flashpoint to survive and we are going to fund Flashpoint. So if you fund Flashpoint, Flashpoint survive. If you don't, Flashpoint die. And that's a reality. And there's always that possibility that one experience in every new business or opportunity that you may go out to see. That the possibility of you succeeding or failing is rest with how support comes to you, where it comes from. But then one thing is certain, never stop persevering, never stop pushing forward, because success is all about you continuing every single day and never giving up. That's success by
journey,
itself.
right?
Every day.
It's the journey. It's
Every
not
day.
the destination.
Every day, you know. So today is one of those days, Lady Curly Curran, when we are looking at a young man who has touched the lives of so many persons, and we are regretting that this has happened to him. Whether he aligns with my belief or not, a life is a life, and someone's life matters, you know.
And in that sense, not to forget the one in Caledonia, the gentleman who for $200 is being purported lost his life, you know. It doesn't matter. The fact is, you do not have the right to give, so you shouldn't at all take on the responsibility of taking. So condolences to that family as well, and to all the friends and the entire community. And it's for us just to be mindful. You know, we can be passionate about our positions or issues, but it also allows you, the maturity of it is when you can appreciate that the same rights that you are claiming belongs to somebody else, and the other person may have opposing views. It does not mean that you have more right than the other person. And if we appreciate it, then we can coexist, understanding the framework in which we operate.
Thank you, Lady Curly Curran, for that sobering thought, because I'm telling you, by myself, for me, just thinking about it this morning, I am still in shock of what's happening around us. I've listened to persons expressing their fear of going out in public spaces to have conversation and to speak, and desires not to be a part of any more public forums.
Yeah.
I say this one thing. I want to say this in the same breath, that what I am saying here is very interesting, that we know that the preaching of the gospel is such a thing that will attract people trying to kill you for what you're saying. You understand me, Curly Curran? You know of this, that people who preach the word of God and preach it will be seen as enemy of the state or enemy of the people, and would want to attack you and kill you. Charlie Kirk has exemplified that. He's a Christian, a preacher, and he go out and teaches. But what I say is that many of our preachers, they don't have to worry. They are safe. They are not preaching anything that anybody is going to kill them for. They are good because everybody is enjoying the messages, so you don't have to worry about anybody killing you. So you know, keep up the good work. You understand? That's what I would say.
Well, as we close the curtains on this segment of the conversation, Matthew G, the encouragement is again for us to be respectful of each other, and in the same breath, be loving to those who matter the most to you, because we do not have any guarantee for the next moment. So I think we can close that conversation.
I'm going to close it right here.
Continue to be flawless on this wonderful Friday morning at this point in time.
Well, Curly Curran, I'm going to say good morning to all those who have just joined us. Of course, welcome to the Breakfast Hour. We are just finished, but of course, it's on-demand content, so you can always go back and click the video and watch the whole episode that we did this morning. Of course, like, share, and subscribe. of course, go ahead and hit the notification bell that every time one of these programs comes up, you get it first. Of course, our radio continues on www.flashpointmedia.ky all day. Our web radio plays all day today. Of course, the open portal comes up at 6:30 in the PM. And I'm telling you, today is going to be one of the days that you're going to be having an experience of a lifetime. Of course, do remember also, proof comes up with the man, Elder Riley himself, will come up this evening as well. And we will have a wonderful Sabbath. Of course, what we call the Sabbath experience at Flashpoint also continues all the way through Friday at 6:30 in the PM, all the way through until sunset on Saturday afternoon. So guys, you have a lot of full day right here at Flashpoint, and of course, so much more to come. Lady Alice, you have just joined us again. Let's have the final word and we get out of here.
It has been certainly a fabulous Friday. I want to thank Charlie Kirk for coining these adjectives that cause us to think about even flaws that we do have. I want to thank the team here at Flashpoint Media for showing up every single day to bring quite relevant content. And thank you, Mikey G, for bringing that information to us this morning. Certainly, it has been an interesting discussion for us to think as we live our lives from day to day. You must stand for something, you'll fall for anything if you stand for nothing. And so I want to wish you all the best for the weekend and for today. May the Lord bless you abundantly more than you can ever ask, think, or imagine.
You know, Lady Curly Kern is going to say something this morning very important, but she agreed with me earlier that most of our ministers don't have to be worried about anybody assassinating them because they're not standing up and preaching against anything. The messages are good, nice, lovely, clean, good sermons. The brethren, the people who come to the temple or the churches are enjoying those messages and they are in good health with that. And so they're not against anything. And so nobody will harm them. They're just going to be okay. So they don't have to worry about people shooting at them because people like Charlie Kirk, yes. Possible Mikey G at some point.
Don't say these things, Mikey G.
But I'm serious. I'm going to speak and say the things that I think wouldn't make sense to say or talk about. But there are many persons who will never say anything. So you don't have to worry about your safety. You're going to be safe all the time. You're going to live a long, good old age and, you know, you might just die in your sleep. So, you know, Lady Karen, I mean, you know.
I think in my mind, I'm not sure we came to a conclusion that on that matter. I was being respectful and allowing you to speak. My position, I'll think about whether or not I agree with you. It makes sense at some point. But in my mind, I need to think a little bit more about what you just said. Because what I have learned, Mikey G, is that one needs to really think through, meditate on what you say, because sometimes there are some hidden messages on that you have to be careful that you can't agree too quick. You have to make sure you understand it fully. But family, it's always a pleasure sharing the moments with you, and we really appreciate you taking the time to allow us into your space every morning throughout the day, 24 hours. We appreciate it, and our aim is to make your experience a better one. So if you have any thoughts, any comments, please be free to share them. And importantly, as Mikey G says, share the link so that others can be enjoying the moments as you have been. Thank you again for being with us, for tuning in, and continue to aim to press towards a flawless experience.
You know, as we leave studio, I wanted to share something with us before we go. One final thing, and we ended the program, but I'm going to just stay just long enough to do this one.
Do you have a talent for singing, playing an instrument, spoken word, or dance? Then this is your moment. Cayman's Got Talent Season 1 is here, and for our first season, we are putting the spotlight on gospel. Selected participants will be featured at the Point of Praise Gospel Extravaganza on October 25, 2025. But hurry, the final day for registration is September 30. To register, email us at info@flashpointmedia.ky or WhatsApp 345-321-6969. That's 345-321-6969. Don't miss this opportunity to showcase your talent and be part of something special. K-Man got talent.
Alright, K-Man got challenge, and this morning, thank you so much for sticking and staying with us. I want to just finalize it and just get out of here with this note. Alright, Elise, that's been a Friday with a difference. So have yourself a good day, guys. God bless one. Continue to enjoy Flashpoint. See you again next week.
Have a good one, everybody.
It's like we're running in circles, going around every day, getting stuck in the hurdles of yesterday. Don't you wanna go further, away from the fray? Let's not get stuck in our worries, we'll make our own way. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me together, we'll all sing better outside. Just us in the sky. I will go wherever, I'll be yours forever. Are we part of this circus?
Hi, I'm Claude Edwards, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. You know, wherever I travel around the globe, I have access to Flashpoint Radio, and so should you. Flashpoint Radio, in a class all by itself.